Hello friends, welcome back in my another lecture in a series, and in this lecture I am going to talk about basic concept of probability. So before defining probability, I am going to define some terms which are very instrumental in probability. So let's start with random experiment. Experiment in which all the possible outcomes are known in advance, but which one of these outcome will come first cannot be predicted in the advance is called as random experiment. For example, in tossing a coin, we get either head or a tail. So which one of these, head or tail, will come first cannot be predicted in the advance. So this is an example of random experiment. Let's take another example. Throwing a die. As we know, die have 6 faces. Each faces have different dots. 1 dot, 2 dots, so on, 6 dots. When we throw a die, any one of the face can come off with any with number of different dots. So which one of these face with dot 1, 2, 3 or 6 will come cannot be predicted in the advance. We just know the outcomes in advance. That means random experiment. Now sample space, the set of all possible outcomes of random experiment is called as a sample space. If you do a one random experiment, collect all the possible outcomes of that, separate them by comma and write within a curly bracket, then we will get a sample space for that particular random experiment, right? And it is always denoted by, or usually denoted by, capital S. For example, number 1, in tossing a coin, sample space S can be given as head, tail, because in tossing a coin either head or tail is possible. Number 2, example number 2, in tossing 2 coins simultaneously, sample space S can be given as head, head, tail, tail, head, tail, tail. Similarly, in tossing 3 coins simultaneously, sample space S can be given as triple head, head, tail, tail, head, tail, head. All these 3 are similar. Tail, head, tail, tail, head, tail, tail. These 3 are also similar. And finally, triple tail. So there are 8 possible outcomes for tossing 3 coins simultaneously. Number 4, example number 4, when we toss 4 coins simultaneously, then sample space S can be given as 4 heads, triple head, tail, 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 head, tail, head, tail, 3 head. All these 4 are similar. Just move this T to extreme left step by step. All right. So in 4 steps, this T can be bring to extreme left. Similarly, triple tail, head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, and head, triple tail. All these 4 are also similar. Then head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, head, tail, head. These 3 are similar. Just move this head to extreme right one by one. So in 3 steps, this H head can be bring to extreme right. Similarly, tail, head. Next is tail, head. Next is tail, head, tail. These 3 are also similar. And finally, 4 times tail. So in this way, there are 16 possible outcomes there. So one thing is one thing is, there is a one similarity between all these 4 examples, how these possible outcomes are coming. In coin, maximum 2 possibilities are there, head, tail, and we are tossing coin 1 time. So how these possible outcomes are coming? Maximum 2 outcomes are there, head, tail, and we are tossing coin 2 times. So, and this is similarly 2 raised to power 3, and this is similarly 2 raised to power 2. 2 in the base means possible outcomes are head and tail, and 4 means we are tossing coin 4 times. Let's take another example. In throwing a die, sample space S can be given as 1 2 3 4 5 6. Six possible outcomes are there, either 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, because 6 faces are there, each faces have a different dot. In throwing two die simultaneously, in this case sample space S can be given as 1 1 1 2 1 6 2 1 2 2 2 6. Similarly 3 1 up to 3 6, 4 1 up to 4 6, 5 1 up to 5 6, 6 1 up to 6 6. So maximum 36 possible outcomes are there. 1 1 means on both die we are getting 1 1 dot, and 3 6 means on first die we are getting 3 dots and second die we are getting 6 dot. In this way these are defined. So how these possible outcomes are coming? There are 6 options and we are tossing die one time. So 6 raised to power 1 means 6 options are there. There are 6 options and we are tossing throwing a die 2 times. So 6 raised to power 2 means 36 possible outcomes are there. So these are some examples of sample space. Now come to the event. Event is just a subset of a sample space. For example, if A is an event, then A is subset of S. For example, let us take this first example. In tossing a coin, sample space S is a head or a tail. So we can define here two events. Let us suppose E1 is getting tail and E2 is getting head. Then both E1 and E2 belongs to S. This is clear from here. E1 means tail belongs to S, E2 means head belongs to S. So these are events of a sample space S, just like subset of set. Sure event. Sure event means events which always occur in a random experiment are called as a sure event. For example, consider a biased coin. Let us suppose biased coin having head on both face. Let us suppose we have a coin having head on both face. Then when we toss this type of biased coin, then getting head is a sure event because both sides have head. Then we throw, every time there will be head. So this is a sure event. Similarly, we can define, let us suppose we have a biased coin having tail on both sides. Then getting tail is a sure event. Alright. Impossible event. Event which never occur in a random experiment is called as a impossible event and is usually denoted by capital phi. For example, let's take one example. In tossing a coin and getting two heads. Tossing a coin and getting two heads. This is an impossible event because when we toss a coin, we get only maximum one head. Similarly, tossing a coin and getting two tails. This is again an impossible event because when we toss a coin, we can get maximum one tail. So this is about impossible event. Next is equally likely events. Two or more events are said to be equally likely if one of them cannot be expected to occur in preference to the other. For example, in tossing a coin, when we toss a coin, either head will be there or a tail will be there. Head and tail both are equally likely. We cannot expect some either head or tail in advance. Head and tail both are equally likely. There are 50-50% chance for both. Similarly, in throwing a die, then 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot, 4 dot, 5 dot and 6 dot, all of these dots on different faces are equally likely. We cannot expect 3 dots to occur. We cannot expect 4 dots to occur in advance. All of these 6 dots are equally likely. Right? Favorable outcomes are always for an event. Must remember this. So cases which ensure the occurrence of event are called as favorable outcome for that event. For example, throwing a die, then favorable outcomes for occurrence of even dots are 2, 4, 6. Similarly, on throwing a die, and favorable outcome for occurrence of odd dots. Odd dots will be 1, 3, 5. This is clear from here. All right. So these 2, 4, 6 ensures the occurrence of even dots, and 1, 3, 5 shows the occurrence of odd dots. So these are favorable outcomes for a particular event, whether event is occurrence of even dots or event is occurrence of odd dots. Next is mutually exclusive event. Two events of sample space are mutually exclusive if they are disjoint. Disjoint means they are entirely different from each other. That is, two events. For two events, A intersection B will be impossible event, right? For example, in tossing a coin, head and tail are equally likely. Head and tail are mutually exclusive. Because head and tail, these occur at the different time. These both head and tail cannot occur together. That's why intersection of H and T will be impossible event. 5. Exhaustive event. Exhaustive event simply means total number of possible outcomes of a sample space S of a random experiment. Total number of possible outcomes. That is, more open way, this can be defined as if E1, E2 dash dash En are n events of sample space S such that union of all these E1 union E2 dash dash union En is equal to S, then these n events E1, E2, En are called as exhaustive events. For example, in tossing a coin, when we toss a coin, we can consider event E1 is a head occur and E2 tail occur. Maximum 2 events will be there, such that union of these E1 and E2 will be equal to S, and which is sample space for tossing a coin. Both E1 and E2 belongs to S. So when we toss a coin, maximum 2 events E1, E2 are there. When we toss a coin 2 times, 4 events will be there, E1, E2, E3, 4. When we toss coin 3 times, 8 events will be there, E1, E2 up to E8, right? So in this way, these are the exhaustive events. Mutually exclusive and exhaustive event mean both of these conditions are satisfied. That is, events E1, E2 dash dash En are mutually exclusive and exhaustive if number 1, they are pairwise disjoint. That is, EI intersection EJ is equal to 5 for I not equal to J. Number 2 means for different events, for different event this will be impossible event. Their intersection will be 5. Number 2, union of all these E1 union E2 dash dash union of En will be equal to S. If both of these conditions are satisfied, then these n events are said to be mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. Now come to the probability. Let us consider let n be the exhaustive, mutually exclusive and equally likely cases in a random experiment for a sample space S. Exhaustive means total number of possible outcomes will be n. Mutually exclusive, these will be events will be entirely different from each other. Equally likely, all the possible outcomes will be equally likely in a random experiment. Out of these n exhaustive cases, let m be the favorable cases to the occurrence of event A. Then probability of occurrence of event A is denoted by P of A and defined as P of A is number of favorable outcomes to A divided by total number of possible outcomes for the sample space S. Favorable outcomes in this case are m and total number of possible outcomes are n. In set notation, probability of occurrence of event A can be given as m means number of outcomes for event A and n means number of possible outcomes of sample space S. So classical definition of probability or simple probability of occurrence of event is given by number of favorable outcome to that event divided by total number of possible outcomes. Now let's see some notes. Note number 1, probability P of not A, that is probability that event A will not occur can be given as P of not A. P of A is number of favorable cases, so P of not A will be number of unfavorable cases or outcomes for A divided by total number of possible outcomes for sample space S. Number of favorable cases are m, so unfavorable will be n minus m because m has been taken from n. So total is n. This can be written as 1 minus m upon n, and m upon n is probability of occurrence of event A. So that is P of A plus P of not A is equal to 1. So we are getting a relation probability of A, sum of probability of A plus probability not A is always equal to 1. Number 2, for any event A, probability always lies in this range. Minimum value of probability is 0, maximum 1, and all the values between 0 and 1. Number 3, probability of sure event is always equal to 1, and probability of impossible event, that is phi, is always equal to 0. Number 4, for any events A, B, C, number 1, probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Similarly, probability of A union B union C, this is P of A, P of B, P of C minus P of A intersection B minus P of A intersection C minus P of B intersection C plus P of A intersection B intersection C. This is the probability for any 3 events A, B, C. Number 5, if events A, B are mutually exclusive, then mutually exclusive means A intersection B will be phi, and probability of phi, probability impossible event is 0. So therefore in this case this term will be 0. So this relation will become probability of A union B when A and B are mutually exclusive is P of A plus P of B. Number 6, probability of A minus B, we can be written as probability of A intersection not B. Dash means not B. So this can be written as probability of A minus probability of A intersection B. That means if from probability of A we subtract probability of intersection B, we will get probability of A minus B. All of these 6 relations are very, very important, which we can use in the upcoming exercises, right? So remember all of these relations. Next is assignment of probabilities. Assignment of probability means if a sample space S of a random experiment consists of finite number of outcomes A1, A2 dash dash An, that is sample space S has these possible outcomes A1, A2 dash dash An, then probability of a simple event AI is a non-negative real number P of AI such that number 1, this probability always lies, probability of simple event AI lies in this range for each ai belongs to S and I is varying from 1 to up to n. Number 2, sum of all these probabilities of ai is always equal to 1. Here I is varying from 1 to n. This is compact form, that is in open form this can be written as p of a1, p of a2 plus so on p of an is equal to 1. Both of these conditions must be satisfied. First condition is probability of the simple event always lies in this range and sum of all these probability of simple event must be equal to 1. So as usually we denote event by capital letter, let us suppose ai. In this case I am denoting event by small ai. So there is nothing change, just a notation, right? So any assignment of probability will be valid if both of these conditions are satisfied. From here it follows that we can assign any non-negative real number for the probabilities of these simple event ai as long as condition 2, that is this condition, is satisfied. In a particular case, when if we assume equal probability for all the simple events, then means all of these probabilities are equal. Let us say all of these probabilities are equal to p of a1. So this is p of a1, p of a1, p of a1. How many times? N times. So that is in general n time probability of p of ai is equal to 1. That is probability of ai is equal to 1 upon n. For I is equal to 1, 2 up to n. That means probability of a1 is 1, probability of a2 is 1 by 2, probability of a3 is 1 by 3. So on in this way, probability of an is 1 upon n, and sum of all these probability will be always equal to 1. So any assignment of probability will be valid if both of these conditions are satisfied. If any one of these condition is not satisfied, then the assignment of probability will be not valid. Friends, one more thing that I want to tell you in this particular lecture, that is one must have a knowledge of a playing card. Playing cards. Total playing cards are 52. 26 are red and 26 are black. These red cards are further divided into two parts. This is heart and diamond. These are 13 each, these are 13 each. So 13, 13, 26 red cards. These black cards are also divided into two parts. These are spade and club. Spade and club. These are 13 in number, these are also 13 in number. So 13, 13, 26. So in this way, 26 cards are red and 26 are black. Heart are numbered 13 cards, numbered from 1 to 13. Diamonds are also 13 cards, numbered from 1 to 13. Spade are also 13, numbered from 1 to 13. Clubs are also 13, numbered from 1 to 13. So in playing card, there are 4 shoots: heart, diamond, spade and club. Each should have 13 cards numbered right from 1 to 13. Apart from this, there are some special cards, and these are ace, jack, queen, and king. Aces are 4, jacks are 4, queen are 4, and kings are 4. Ace means card number 1 is always called as ace, card number 11 is always called as jack, and card number 12 is called as queen, card number 13 is called as a king. How aces are 4? Because each shoots now are numbered from 1 to 13. So card number 1 in each shoot, one heart, diamond, spade, and club is called as ace. So total aces are 4. Similarly, king. Card number 13 is called as king. So there is one king in each shoot, heart, diamond, spade, and a club. So 1, 1, 1, 1. So there are 4 kings in this way. So these are 4, 4, 4, 16 in all. Alright. So in this lecture, we had talked about basic definition of probability, that is classical definition, a simple definition of probability, a simple probability, and probability is always for a event, and we have defined some various terms. That's all about this lecture. Thank you.